Hebrews 12:1 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles us, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." This summer, 10,500 athletes from around the globe converged on Paris, France for the games of the 33rd Olympiad. And I confess, I'm a full-fledged Olympic junkie. I didn't even know what distance plunging, synchronized diving, or canoe slalom were, but hey, we're all touched by the examples of athletes overcoming obstacles, personal tragedy, their lives of sacrifice and discipline, all for the honor of stepping onto that platform to receive a gold, silver, or bronze medal. As touching as the human interest stories, none compare to the glorious gospel story. A baby considered by most the illegitimate son of a homeless peasant family now is the risen king, ruling in the heavenlies. And we compete not for an earthly medal, but a prize of eternal value. To win an Olympic gold, the first step is to qualify. The great thing of the gospel is the Father has already qualified us through the gift of his Son, Jesus Christ, who ran the races, did the trials, overcame the devil, won the race, died, rose from the grave, and then handed us the baton. Colossians 1:12 says, "We are strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, giving thanks to the Father who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints in light." It's such a relief to know we don't have to be good enough. We just have to trust what Jesus has already done. I want you to remember three things. Number one, run with passion. Our walk is not passive. Our passion is more than human strength or emotion. Sometimes passion is being willing to admit that despite my doubts or weakness, I can trust God to carry me across the finish line. We can run with passion knowing that we are surrounded by that great cloud of witnesses. A lot of the athletes commented they were overwhelmed by the enthusiasm of the crowds, especially since in the last Olympics in Tokyo, the stands were empty because of COVID-19. But as excited as these athletes may be about the cheering, we have a better promise. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us we're cheered on by the heroes in the hall of faith in Hebrews 11. When you feel like you're alone, just remember, not only is Jesus with you, Abraham, Moses, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Samuel, and all the saints and angels are in that heavenly grandstand cheering you on. When you read in chapter 11, we find out that list starts with great heroes like Abraham and Moses, and then suddenly he mentions a harlot named Rahab. That chapter concludes with, "And what more shall I say? For time will fail me if I tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David and Samuel, and the prophets, and all who by faith conquered kingdoms." How does a prostitute get higher billing than David, Samuel, or Isaiah? God doesn't consult your past to predict your potential. God values you and gives you your own race. And number two, run with purity. Hebrews 12:2 says, "Laying aside every weight and the sin that so easily entangles us." Running with purity doesn't mean running with perfection. We can come with all of our doubts, our brokenness, our wounds and failures, and he still qualifies us for the race. Hebrews warns us of sin that so easily entangles us. All sin, exposed or hidden, must be dealt with. Sin is a stumbling block. And after Hebrew calls out sin, he warns of another subversive danger: weight. See, no victorious athlete carries extra weight. Please, don't carry anything you don't need. And those weights are guilt, unforgiveness, labels, doubt, fear, burdens. They all hold you back. You can't move into your future when you're holding onto your past. And at no time are you defined by who people say you are. You are who God says you are, so run like the champion he made you. Lay aside, tune out every weight, disconnect from every device that's not part of your destiny, every voice, every website, every social media, any lie that plays in your head on a loop that interferes with you finishing that race. And finally, run with purpose. Don't worry about finding God's purpose. You don't have to chase it, stress about it, manipulate or cheat to get it. When you position yourself according to God's word and allow yourself to be present in your current situation, God will bring your purpose to you. All the other things that people chase, they're not your race. Release the desire to run their race. Sprinters don't compete as divers, wrestlers don't do synchronized dance, and distance plungers certainly will not win in the high dive. Run your race. Do you not know, Corinthians says, that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way as to take the prize, because we're bringing the love of Jesus to a lost world, and the love of Jesus comes wrapped in you. This race is to reach the lost before it's too late. Don't get distracted where you are at the moment. See the finish line, because God already sees you victorious. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And in a marathon, it doesn't matter who's ahead at 100 yards. In basketball, it doesn't matter if Serbia is up by 17 points in the second quarter. For you, it's not over till God says it's over. And he will be with you until you win, as long as you just don't quit. Are you tired or weary? Remember Isaiah 40:29. He gives strength to the weary, and to him who lacks might, he increases power. You're not just living for Jesus, we live from Jesus. We're not just running for Jesus, our victory is in Jesus. We prepare, but the power's in him to finish. Is what you're living for worth what Jesus died for? You're on a heavenly assignment, sent by God to tell others who Jesus really is. You're important. Don't ever forget. You're not alone. Heaven's grandstand is raising an ovation. Trust the Lord, embrace the race, and finish strong. Run with passion, run with purity, run with purpose. The Olympics may be over, but the race is still on.